This programme has been in part funded by Visit Cornwall.
Welcome to this week's Cornwall Channel. As always, my name is Shane Solomon.
And my name is Mike Spinks. Here's what's coming up on this evening's show. So we find out some more amazing Cornish history with Emlyn Harris. Mike heads down to the Royal Cornwall Museum to find out about Cornish history. Shane heads down to the Merlin MS Centre to find out about their amazing work. And playing us out this evening is King Creature.
So another action-packed show for you, and we've come out of the studio again this week, and this week we're in Weybridge at this wonderful exhibition. It's quite noisy too.
It is a little bit noisy, as you probably able to hear around us. We've come down here to exhibit here today to some great Cornish companies. But as mentioned, we've got a fantastic show coming up for you today. A lot of history this week, actually.
Indeed, and Emlyn Harris is first up tonight. Tell us about this piece.
Yep, so we caught up again with Emlyn. He's done some fantastic pieces around Cornwall and really delves into the history around this great county. Take a close look at this.
Since mankind first walked the earth, he has left his mark behind him in stone. From the standing stones and burial chambers of the ancient world through to the brick and concrete remains of our industrial past, they're part of our landscape and of our history. And none more so than here in the Duchy of Cornwall. Here, history is as much a part of everyday life as our pasties. But most of us don't even give it a second thought. It's just there, a pile of old stones. This stone cross by the roadside near Madron has been in that same spot for almost 1,000 years. Just think of the stories it could tell. During the late Neolithic Stone Age through to the early Bronze Age, that's about 2,400 to 1,400 years before Christ, the area around here in West Penwith was densely settled. The foundations of hundreds of stone roundhouses lie scattered around these valleys and plateaus.
Some were only seasonally habitated, but others, like here at Bedrifty, appear to be permanently occupied settlements, with many hundreds of acres of fields defined by low banks and dry stone walls.
People lived in circular roundhouses constructed with thick stone walls and a conical thatched roof. The doorways positioned to the southeast, away from the prevailing southwesterly wind which scours this landscape. This site was occupied for more than 1,000 years, but looking at what remains of the houses, it's difficult to imagine what life must have been like living here. That is, until you see this.
And when you enter this extraordinary reconstruction of an Iron Age roundhouse here at Bedrifty Farm, it becomes clear just how functional and how comfortable these buildings must have been. The owners, Fred and Penny Mustill, built this house in order to understand more fully the lives of the ancients.
The fire for heating and cooking was centrally placed, but there could not have been a hole in the apex of the roof, because that would have caused an updraft and immediately set fire to the thatch. Having lived in a thatched cottage myself, I can appreciate that caution.
This superb home, for it truly feels like a home, is an interpretation of the largest house at Bedrifty village. It has an internal diameter of 27 feet, that's 8.5 metres, and a height of 36 feet, just over 13 metres, and is recognised as one of the best roundhouse recreations of its kind.
The people who lived in the round houses on the moor also built this. The Merry Maidens Stone Circle. It is perfectly circular and 72 feet in diameter, that's almost 22 metres. The 19 granite megaliths are aligned to the cardinal points of the compass, which might suggest an astrological or calendar function, perhaps relating to the agricultural year.
The ancient stone circles of the British Isles have no direct parallels on the European mainland, and more than 900 have escaped the ravages of time and man. A great number of megaliths and standing stones were destroyed in the 19th century by industry and the reclamation of agricultural land for food production. Dr. William Bourlaise, the rector of Ludgvan and the father of Cornish archaeology, describes in his parochial memoranda dated September the 29th, 1752, how a monolith 20 feet above ground and planted 4 feet in it, the Men Peru, the stone of sorrow, in the parish of Constantine, had mysteriously disappeared. A local farmer later acknowledged that he'd cut it up and had made 20 gateposts out of it.
The Cornish name for these stones is Dansmaean, meaning dancing stones. Legend has it that while the God-fearing folk of Lamorna in St Buryan were at prayer, a group of local maidens ignored the call of the church and ventured far into the pastures beyond. The sound of distant Cornish bagpipes drew them further across the moorland until, unable to resist the hypnotic music, they began to dance. Faster and faster they turned and twirled, bewitched by the drone of the pipes, until, for their sin, the maidens were turned to stone.
So Emlyn, he is an absolute natural and a professional at those.
He really knows his stuff, doesn't he? Really knows his stuff. So coming up next, I head down to the Royal Cornwall Museum. Have you been there before?
I have, in Truro, to see the mummified cat. See that down there?
We saw that. We didn't get that on camera, actually. They've got fantastic exhibits down there. They've got a new place they've set up at the back end of the museum, all about face-to-face, they call it, all about Cornish faces. Really, really interesting. We also had a look around their mineral exhibit. I did actually make a slight hiccup in the VT. I did say the largest mineral collection in the country is actually the county. So just pay attention to that.
Subtitle that.
Subtitle it. We'll pop it in there somewhere. But really interesting. If you haven't head down to the Royal Cornwall Museum, definitely have a look down in Truro. Have a close look at this. So Cornwall has a fascinating history dating all the way back to the Stone Age right up until present day. So we decided to pop down here to the Royal Cornwall Museum to take a closer look. So a huge part of Cornwall's history comes from its geology, whether that's the granite, slate or even the china clay. There's millions of stories based around the families and people that mined these minerals. Here at the museum they have one of the largest collections of minerals in the country. Cornwall also has a massive history when it comes to art, and especially landscapes. With the scenery that we have around the county, it's not hard to understand why. Take this one for instance. This is The Estuary by John Noble Barlow, painted in 1861, a gorgeous depiction of the estuary, but we're not exactly sure whereabouts in Cornwall this actually is. So we're now here at the newest edition here at the museum. I'm joined by Sarah. Sarah, what can you tell me about this amazing collection of faces behind us here?
So this is our face-to-face exhibition that's on all year until January 2020. And it's really an opportunity for people to see objects that wouldn't necessarily be on display all the time. So these are objects from our stores that we've chosen, along with the help of our citizen curators and volunteers. There's a mixture of Cornish and objects from all over the world, so it's a real diverse mix of things. Like, for example, the Obios mask that you can see behind us. That's used every May Day in Padstow, so it's a long tradition. This one's out of retirement now, but they do have another one. This is made by the Bate family. Walter Bate wore it, so this was from the early 1900s.
Wow.
It was a mask to celebrate the coming of spring and fertility, and it was worn with a big black skirt as well. And interestingly, it's quite similar to the Soe mask, which is next to the Obios mask as well. And that's actually from West Africa, but it's a similar, similar ritual really. It's a fertility rite mask. Again, one with a black skirt. Both involve dancing and sort of certain ceremonies as well. So it's quite interesting that these traditions, both in Cornwall and West Africa, are very similar with the use of the masks.
Oh, fascinating. Well, thank you very much for showing us these. We're going to head over to the other side of the exhibition room now and take a look at some of the paintings. So we're now in front of this amazing collection of paintings. Sarah, what can you tell us about these?
Again, these are paintings from our reserve collection, so things that don't often get out on display. And they really do just show the breadth of the collection we've got. There's some wonderful paintings here by artists such as Cranach, John Singer Sargent, and we've also got paintings of local people by local artists. For example, Thomasine Blight, who was known locally as Tammy Blee. She was known as the White Witch of Helston.
Oh, wow.
White Witch because she was only ever thought to do good deeds, so things like curing sicknesses, getting rid of curses from bad witches, that sort of thing. And she was quite a well-known character. She's described in some books. She doesn't come across as a particularly pretty woman. She's described as having red eyes and things like that, but you can see from her portrait she just looks like a very sweet old lady.
Fantastic. Well, if you'd like to find out a little bit more about these amazing stories behind these faces, this section of the museum is open up until the end of the year, so head on down. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about Cornwall's history, head down here to the Royal Cornwall Museum in Truro. Take a look inside, it is absolutely fascinating.
So our thanks there to everyone at the Royal Cornwall Museum.
Indeed, if you haven't been down there, do check it out. It's a fantastic museum. One of those places I never really looked into before and managed to get through the doors with the Cornwall Channel.
Yes, indeed. It's easy just to drive past there, so make sure you do make an effort and pop in there. As always, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got any comments about the show, any ideas for things we can cover in future episodes, please get in contact with us. Email us studio@cornwallchannel.co.uk or contact us on any of our social media pages.
Indeed, we've got an ad break coming up now, so we'll see you directly.
Meet Paul Isaac's Fisherman's Friends.
I've heard them sing with genuine passion. Can't take a punt on Popeye and his pals.
Is it true you're going to turn Grandpa into a pop star like Justin Bieber?
Chin out, chin down.
Which one?
At Cornish Gems, we have over 180 luxury holiday cottages across Cornwall, ready for you to fall in love with. All of our beautiful self-catering homes are hand-picked by our local team and meet the highest quality, cleanliness and safety standards, so you can relax and enjoy your dream holiday in Cornwall. Whether you want to visit the famous harbour town of St Ives or explore the long sandy beaches of Newquay, at Cornish Gems we have a gem waiting for you. Visit our website to view our tempting collections or call our local travel advisors today.
Are you missing calls? 75% of people don't like leaving answer phone messages. What opportunities could you be missing out on in your business? Fonetta Business offers a solution with its telephone answering service. Our dedicated business team answer your calls as your business and can text or email you straight away. From as little as £1 per call, can you afford to miss your next customer? Contact us to try our 14-day free trial now. Fonetta. Communication made easy.
From the installation of boilers to the repair of central heating systems, we have the experience and expertise to handle it all. We offer a complete range of boiler installation, servicing, maintenance and repair services, along with a 24/7 breakdown service at reasonable prices. All our heating experts are gas safe and Offtech registered. If your fuel is gas, oil or LPG, we can help. Call us today to find out more or visit www.rapidheatingsw.co.uk.
Since 1994, independent estate agent Jackie Stanley and her team have been looking after property owners and buyers from the Harbourside office in Padstow. Covering the whole of North Cornwall, it's important to Jackie that great care and attention is paid to all clients, and that herself and her staff go the extra mile to achieve satisfaction for her buyers and sellers alike. Honesty, integrity and discretion are key in our outstanding sales record. Visit Jackie Stanley online or pop in and see her in Padstow.
For great food, friendly accommodation and delicious local ales, come to the Griffin Inn in Newquay. Our Cornish restaurant and bar menu offers a traditional menu incorporating homemade dishes using fresh local produce wherever possible. Not forgetting our very popular Sunday carvery and sizzling steak nights. It is the ideal place to stay for business, a holiday or a short break in Cornwall. Visiting Cornwall? Think the Griffin Inn Newquay.
Welcome back, you're watching the Cornwall channel. Now over to St Austell, or outside of St Austell, to the Merlin Centre, where we caught up with Tamsin and the wonderful people down there.
Yep.
Those oxygen tanks, that's like something else.
Yeah, I was surprised you got in there. She's a little bit claustrophobic.
Very claustrophobic.
Amazing bit of technology, obviously, to help out people who suffer from MS and other actual ailments, all sorts of bits and pieces, which you'll find out in the VT.
Indeed.
Really interesting, actually.
It's one of those ones that we like to cover as many charities as possible in Cornwall, and obviously there's quite a few, so it's taken us a while to get around, but we are gradually getting there. So hopefully you enjoyed this piece and find this very informative. Our visit to the Merlin Centre, just outside of St Austell. Today I've come down here to the Merlin MS Centre, just outside of St Austell. Tamsin's inside waiting for me, so I'm going to go in and catch up with her. So Tamsin, tell us the primary function of the centre here.
So we're a charity and our main focus is working with people with multiple sclerosis or MS, but we also support people with other neurological diseases, so things like ME, Alzheimer's, that sort of thing. We've got lots of different things that go on in the centre. There's so much that we can say about it, but our main thing is that we are there to support people. We have services that can support them. And we have to raise quite a lot of money each year, and we do that obviously by fundraising, but we also have rooms that we can hire out. We have our cafe behind us. We have lots of things that go on underneath this roof.
And it's celebrating 10 years this year, I believe.
Yeah, 10 years, and the opening of our hydrotherapy pool as well. So for the start of 2019, it's already been really, really busy.
And what's the main way that people can help here to get involved, to raise money and things like that?
Two ways. There is the fundraising, helping out with events, raising money, corporate sponsorship, challenge events. There's a range of ways that you can raise money for the charity, but we also rely really heavy on volunteers. The ladies in our cafe are volunteers, and there are 150 volunteers that we have here in comparison to around 30 or 40 staff, so it just shows how important they are to us. So time and money, whatever you can give us, really.
So I'm here now with Belinda. Now it's one of those sort of things, it's quite enclosed here. It feels a bit scary to me.
Okay.
Talk me through this, situation I'm now in.
Right, okay. What we have here is a barrow chamber, and this is where, through the mask, as you can see back here, we receive pressurised 100% pure oxygen. Okay. Why that's such a great thing, certainly with MS clients that we see here, but also anyone with neurological conditions, people that have fractures, they want to, to sort of shorten the length of time of healing. Cancer patients, we see kind of everybody here, even though it's an MS centre. And what it does is it's sort of, oxygen is responsible for turning on about 8,000 different genes in the body. Inflammation of any sort does not like oxygen. So oxygen puts you almost into sort of like a remission from, illnesses such as MS, etc., and allows your body to sort of heal naturally. When it's pressurised into the body, it goes it's in the circulation anyway, but it actually then gets into bone and plasma and tissue, and so that's when the deep healing starts. So you're not on your own in here. We have someone that sits at the control panel out there all the time.
Right.
What happens is, in this chamber itself, you can breathe normally, and we have 21% oxygen normally in the air that we breathe. So at any point, if you felt uncomfortable, you could take your mask off and you can breathe in here. Right. What happens when you put on your mask, it's a little bit like a kind of a mini workout for the lungs initially. It's not hard to breathe, and you don't need to deep breathe or anything, you just breathe normally. But it feels a little bit strange to start with, obviously, because you've got something sort of on your face, and it's a little bit unusual.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hope that's given you a little bit more light on what this is used for.
Yeah.
I'm with Mel now, who's the clinical lead physio here at the Merlin MS Centre. So Mel, a typical day for you, explain it to me.
Okay, so we actually run different services on every day. I'm based in the therapy gym, so I oversee all the services that take place within the gym. We have a clinical specialist occupational therapist who comes here and does appointments on a Monday, which sometimes we do joint sessions so that clients can get the best knowledge and support possible. As you can see in the gym, we've got an amazing anti-gravity treadmill. We've got the only one in Cornwall, which is a fantastic bit of equipment to help people work on gait re-education, balance, strength, stamina, fitness, all that sort of thing. We've got all the normal equipment that you see in a therapy gym, like the standing frames, bikes, parallel bars, and bits and pieces. And we also are really, really lucky to have our sensory integration therapy room, which we've been supported in developing by our OT, Kath Smith, who is also one of the experts in sensory integration therapy. So we're really, really fortunate to have her working with us and supporting us to develop that side of our neurological rehabilitation programs.
Superb. And what's the most rewarding part of your job, would you say?
I've got lots of rewarding parts of my job. I work with amazing clients. I'm really, really fortunate. People that come to me are really motivated. They're really keen. A lot of them have got really clear goals, whether it's to improve their function or just to maintain function. Working with people that are keen and motivated and will do their exercise programs at home and are keen to come back to therapy is a joy, and I'm really, really fortunate.
So our thanks to Tamsin and everyone there at the Merlin Centre just outside of Snorstop.
The fantastic work they do down there. As we mentioned before, those oxygen tanks, amazing bit of kit, really helping out all the people of Cornwall.
I would personally like to say thank you to everyone who jumped on the Facebook Live after we filmed that piece where I was serving tea in their cafe.
But Shane's work experience, wasn't it?
It was my work experience, and we encourage any of you to log on to our Facebook page, follow us, share it, like it, love it.
Yeah, and send us an email, studio@thecornwallchannel.co.uk if you have any questions, queries, anything you'd like us to cover. We always like to read your messages.
So, music now here on the Cornwall Channel, and no stranger to the Cornwall Channel, we have King Creature with their track. Check it out. thanks as always to King Creature. Love them being on the show, and they're doing phenomenal things raising the flag for Cornish music around the world.
Indeed, and fantastic video theirs as well. So that's pretty much us done for this evening. We've been here at the Expo Centre, exhibition here this week.
Yes, a big thank you to the wonderful guys here at Hale Events for looking after us, and a wonderful stand, and putting the name out about our show here on Sky and Freesat. So until next week, have a great week wherever you are in the world. For myself and Mike, see you soon.
See you later.
This programme has been in part funded by Visit Cornwall. Treat your senses to the finest flavours of South Korean and Asian at Zen Noodle and Wine Bar in the centre of Truro. Zen is a great contemporary place to dine, delivering modern Asian fusion cuisine, all cooked fresh to order with no MSG. Authentic South Korean barbecue grills at selected tables. Truro's hidden gem, the Zen of Zen. So you're stuck for ideas of what to do with the kids? Try something different. Try Player Ready in Redruth. They have loads of the latest virtual reality games, including racing simulators with hundreds of car types and tracks. We are also Cornwall's only indoor roller disco. They also offer amazing games packages for kids and adult birthday parties, stag and hen do's and team building. There's also a cafe serving great food and drink, and parking is free. Player Ready VR Redruth, and coming soon to St Ives.
Have you been to Bodmin Jail? Immerse yourself in the history and atmosphere of the former county prison. Spend the night in jail with our resident medium. Visit the tea room. Dine in the Governor's Hall and experience our fine cuisine, or why not sample our delicious Sunday lunch? So much going on. Wednesday ghost walks. Thursday scary cinema night. Friday and Saturday after dark experience. Weddings and daily heritage tours. Bodmin Jail. So much more than an attraction.